Food and fitness go hand in hand?
Yes, it always goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Right, and we have the experts here all the way from New York, the East Coast. Hi from the West Coast.
Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for being on our show. We're so grateful that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Our
Please
pleasure.
tell the listeners, our audience in general, who you guys are and what you're doing.
Sure. Do you want me to start?
Yes, you can.
Sure. My name's Gabriel Zhanay. We both run an online coaching business. It's called ProPlant Academy. Basically, the aim of the business is really to help busy plant-based professionals master their fitness without giving up their lifestyles. And we really place an onus on this, because there's such a there's such idea of you have to live in the gym to be healthy, to look good. You have to give up all your favorite foods, in order to drop stubborn fat, to feel good. And we really try to take that away because one, you don't have to give up your favorite foods, and you don't have to live in the gym in order to look the best and feel the best. And I think it's something that, we try to live ourselves, neither of us, we try to live in the gym. Neither of us try to live in the kitchen, even though we both love it.
So do we.
Right.
We need a break once in a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my name is Anna. I don't know if Gabriel mentioned. This is Gabriel. I didn't hear.
Oh, yes, this is my first
So I'm a nutrition therapist and nutrition coach. And I'm so passionate about vegans, especially how plant-based diet can improve our health, save animals, and protect our planet. So I went vegan a few years ago. I had health issues and I just needed to do something with it. I refused to go to the doctors and take medicines, and I started researching, and after long research I stopped eating dairy and meat, and later on I watched a presentation on YouTube. It was actually 101 reasons to go vegan, and it moved me so much that I decided go vegan overnight. So I didn't even think, shall I do it or not? I just, after I watched that, I couldn't go back. I couldn't eat, because I was still eating that time fish and eggs, and I just decided to go full on, and I never looked back.
Wow.
So I love cooking. I'm so passionate about cooking, but mostly really healthy foods because they taste amazing if you know how to
They
cook
do,
them.
yeah.
Yes,
We saw some of
for
the
sure.
dishes. Looks delicious. Like the
And
chocolate cake and stuff.
Absolutely. I love sweets, and I love to make them healthy because you can actually make them really healthy. Just use different ingredients, and they taste amazing. And I also love sharing them with others. So my friends know that, and Gabriel knows that.
Yeah, right? Totally. Especially when you let other people try delicious vegan food, they actually realize, wow, you guys are actually not missing out. You're actually really enjoying what you're eating. And actually, I found out when I became vegan that it was more the opposite. I discovered more different grains, and different ingredients I can use for my
bulgur.
cooking.
I didn't know what bulgur was, or farro. These are
God.
random things. I'm like,
Yeah, right. And all the spices you can use. I just love international food. I like to explore different cultures, and I love traveling. And whenever I make different types of food, it's like traveling for me,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's interesting because when I go to new places, I always research first vegan places where I can eat something.
Us too, yeah. All the time, right?
Yeah. And when I stay somewhere for longer, I go for cooking classes.
Right.
Because you can learn so much, especially if you go somewhere to Asia. It's just really interesting how they prepare food. So this is a great opportunity to learn something new.
I agree, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And how did you guys start the fitness? Were you vegan before the fitness, Gabriel? You were always into fitness, I guess, but when you became vegan, it got even more, you were more even passionate to become more into fitness and want to combine it with your nutrition and with Anna and stuff like that?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I've been into sports and athleticism since I was 5. So you could say that fitness has been really ingrained into me at a deep level. However, I've had periods where I've kind of stepped in and out of it. I've had moments where it's been a struggle. It's been hard for me to be motivated. But about like, let's see, about like 7 or 8 years ago, I really got into fitness and I started to take it a lot more seriously. I entered the industry about 5 years ago. So I've been working as a personal trainer and also a fitness coach, of companies like New York Sports Club, New York Sports and Spinal, 24 Fitness. And now, recently we've really combined like both of our expertise, so mine with fitness coaching and hers with nutrition coaching, and put our efforts to work together. That being said, with veganism and fitness, I think for me over the past 2 years, it's been very fulfilling for me, because seeing it's just so much more than just a physical activity, beyond the strength training, beyond even the conditioning, really like having like a deep value. Why am I doing this? What am I putting into my body? Where is this coming from? Just becoming more aware of the environment, where we're getting some of the materials for the gym. It's just very, very important for me. And I think it's something that I found like very useful just to even reflect, just think like, well, where's this coming from?
Right. Well, you guys teaching what you're living too, right? I think that's so much easier to actually teach someone if you live it yourself than teaching something that you don't even live, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you need to believe in it first if you want to teach others.
Yeah, right? Totally.
Yeah, so even though someone is on a healthy diet, how do you guys stay motivated, or give some tips to stay motivated with exercising regularly?
You want me to start with it?
Yeah.
I think that's a great question, and we actually were discussing this one because we thought it was so insightful in the fact that it's great. It's always something just to acknowledge. First off, if you're eating healthy, this is amazing. And again, not trying to make like bad foods or junk food bad, because there's no right or wrong way to eat, or no good or bad foods. Because it's something that Anna and I have talked a lot about. Because the moment you start labeling foods or like judging foods, it's very similar to the way we judge each other as human beings.
Right.
Hence those like midnight runs to the fridge, to get the Haagen-Dazs strawberry ice cream. There's no reason to feel bad. If you want ice cream, if you want pizza, if you want to just sit all day and watch Netflix and have chips, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially during this period where we should be more compassionate towards ourselves and really just spend time just being, but in regards to having that motivation, it's something that motivation in general, it's something I think it's useful to look at, like what's driving you, like what exactly are you doing this for, and then seeing like if you need something like an external motivation, whether that's having like a playlist or an inspirational influencer, somebody, there's nothing wrong with that. But also seeing there's ways of developing your motivation so you can come from more of an internal place, having a deeper purpose, looking like, okay, great, so I want to have, maybe a slimmer waist, or maybe I want to have more energy, maybe I want to have bigger muscles, but what's behind that, Are you inspired because of the aesthetics? Are you inspired by maybe something deeper like the discipline? Are you inspired by being more consistent with yourself, more congruent? And I think that's something that if you find it useful, reflecting on that, seeing like how can I make one simple change today, moving towards whether it's a physique change or a fitness goal.
Right. No, that totally makes sense, right? You kind of have to have a goal with everything in life, right? You keep to be more consistent if you have a vision or purpose, right, in life, or even with your business, right? You guys have a vision. You want to help more people. That's how you stay motivated, even doing this, right? Even with our podcast and our YouTube channel, like we want to get more people on board, not like shaking them up. Here, you should join. If they're interested,
live
right?
by example, right?
Exactly.
You want to shine the light that, hey, like it's not as hard as you think it is, or it's a lot easier. It's just getting into that mindset and going forward, right?
Right. Like we like to talk about different experiences, right? Like you guys have your journey, how you became vegan. We have our own, right? Everyone has their own special journey. And it's so inspiring. I find there's no certain way how you become vegan, right? Some people need longer, right? They can go from one day to the other vegan. Some need longer. I kind of needed longer, I just cut out red meat and then the white meat it's called, right? And then fish and then dairy and then like eggs and stuff like that. But everyone has their own journey, right? There's no really wrong way to do it, I guess.
Yes, you need to find out what works for you, because not everybody can just stop eating all animal products at once.
Exactly.
But I think this like gradual like stopping to eat some products and then changing slowly, it works usually the best.
Right, yeah, exactly. So how is it with your clients? Are they like open to become plant-based? Like, or is it hard for them? Like they think, but am I not weak if I like want to get strong and build muscles and stuff like that? How's your impression?
I think in general, I think because as human beings, we're very influenced by a lot of different things like social media or like celebrities. I think veganism and plant-based lifestyle, it's picking up a lot. So I think a lot more people are open-minded towards it. I think more the challenge is coming from like the implementation and how to really make it sustainable. Because things like keto, veganism, paleo, they can be very trendy, and again, coming from a place where it's not trendy, but something where it's more like a deep value to you. So I think it's useful for someone, if they're interested in, going deeper into veganism or plant-based transition. I think it's useful for them to just look at, why am I doing this?
Exactly.
What's my purpose? Am I just copying somebody, or is this authentic for me?
Right.
And I think that's something I can definitely relate to, because when I made my transition, I went more from like a gradual transition compared to Anna's, where she was more like that. She just went like, well, to say for a phrase, cold turkey.
Oh, you did, Anna? You did? Cold.
Yeah, she did more the cold turkey. So I was more of like a gradual transition. And I think it was something, even like the first year when I was vegan, I was continually examining, like, why am I doing this? And initially, my purpose was more like health reason, more like, this is great for me. This is great for my body, great for my mind. But, after that first year, I found like, wow, actually, I'm more motivated, you could say, if we use that word. I'm more actually motivated more from the spiritual aspect, in terms of like feeling very moved, like by compassion, by seeing the suffering, like by the animals, seeing the suffering that we take upon ourselves. I thought like, wow, like, I never thought I would have it within me to see from that perspective. But I think it was something that, reading different literature, exploring different philosophies, I think it was something that, like, I think after that, it was just like almost like unbreakable. I was like, wow, this is me now.
Right.
And was it because you met Anna as well? That's why you became vegan? Like, did she influence you a lot?
She educate you?
Yeah, in a way. Educated.
Oh my goodness.
Just admit it.
Julia educated me. I
just admit it.
Admit that. It just took me a while to absorb it.
Yeah.
Information.
Too much information.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Anna definitely, she was very influential in my transition, but I think she also made the transition very like seamless for me. Something a lot of people, they don't know about us, but we met on an online dating website.
Oh, like us.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. You guys will definitely relate then. But
oh, yeah.
for the general audience who are like, what are these people?
I think it's more common than you think nowadays.
Yeah, right.
It's like 1 in 3 relationships or something.
Exactly.
Crazy like that.
Yeah, it's really common.
Really?
We went to weddings.
I think it's pretty high, yeah.
We went to quite a few weddings where they met online as well.
Yeah, it's becoming it's new norm.
Yeah, yeah, now I think it's more and more popular. Oh, absolutely, because at the end, I think when you use like when you use those websites, you can actually find someone who will match you a bit better, because you kind of like see everything. And that was our case, that we actually like knew a lot about each other before we actually met. So that was really good. So
Right.
Yeah, right. That's how it felt for me.
You can screen them.
It sounds kind of weird, but for me, it was like a menu. I could look at the menu and see if it sounds tasty to me, In a way, it's more effective than seeing someone on the street. I find.
I guess.
Because like the pictures are not enough for me. I want to see if, let's say for me, if this person is adventurous, likes to travel, or has an open mind. You know what I mean?
You got to sell yourself.
Maybe some like cool videos,
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, but that's something interesting, because when I registered, I thought, or at the beginning, I thought that I really want to meet somebody who is vegan. Mm-hmm. And then I actually started thinking, like, how about meeting someone who is open to be vegan, but maybe it's not vegan at the moment. And I think that is a great approach if you want to not even meet partners, sometimes makes new friends, because we don't know who we will actually impact. And we see now that we really impacted our families, that they are more like, some people stopped eating meat, some people are kind of looking into veganism. So I think vegans as community, we need to be more open. We can't close each other that, I want to only meet vegans, because that actually can't impact the rest of the world.
I agree. That's how I see it as well. That's so true. I mean, and then you, as you said, you even impact your whole family, right? And then Gabriel's family, but in a good way too, sometimes, I mean, some people feel like they're judged, when they are around vegans. Yeah, you don't even have to say anything. It's just like how you eat or something, but you activate something in them that they realize, what am I actually eating, right? Like sometimes we don't even have to say anything. It's just our lifestyle or whatever we're eating, right? But there's not really much we can do about it, if we're not being judgmental, like vocally, right? But that's just how it is sometimes. That's what we have to struggle sometimes, I feel, right?
Yeah, I think because with the judgment, it's a bit like... it's like at the beginning when I went vegan, I definitely was a bit more judgmental, and actually I shared that with Gabriel that it was my journey when I actually came to the point that I just basically changed. I started to be more accepting and think like, oh my gosh, that's that's really important truly for a journey for me. But I started looking at people who are still eating animal products more with compassion, and I think that was the point when people around me started shifting. Somebody went maybe stopped eating meat, somebody went from vegetarian to vegan. So I think when we judge, we actually close the door. But in the moment when we are compassionate, when we start sharing food with others, when we are not constantly seeing ourselves as better because we went through that, but we are open to others, I feel like that creates a space for others to change if they want.
Point. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's hard, right? When we know what's really going on as a vegan, animals getting slaughtered and all this stuff, right? And we're like, other people have to know that too. I want them to see it too, what I'm seeing or but it's their journey, right? It's hard. Like what you said, though, we have to show acceptance, right, towards them, and that's how they become more open-minded, and they want to accept you too.
Yeah.
So what does a typical day look for you guys? What are you eating? You guys exercising when you wake up? Or you sleeping in?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Weightlifting right away, powerlifting.
I mean, obviously it's probably different now than it was a couple months ago with things, or maybe it's the same. I don't know. Yeah.
No, definitely things change a bit now.
Yeah.
Just a touch bit.
Okay. That's good.
We usually start our day with meditation and creating our day. So it could be reading, journaling, planning the whole day. We usually plan our day in blocks when we work and when we study. Just to have some more balance, and then we have breaks in between where we go for a walk, have a cup of tea. We used to train in the morning, which was great, but now we actually shifted our training to the evening, and it works good because then we have more time in the morning for meditation, because obviously when gym was open, we went there first thing in the morning, but then we had to a bit sacrifice our morning routine, which I think it's so important to actually consciously create the day and set an intention. So that works much, much better for us. We also tend to finish our day with visualization, with actually reflection, how the day was, what we accomplished, and we do some reading too. So we try to balance. Now it's really great when I think a lot of people maybe in some time or even now they see this lockdown as a blessing because they have more time with their families.
That's true.
And they can create their own schedule, which is quite nice at the moment.
Yeah, right, it is. And how does it work with your clients? Do you see any right now online or?
I had a few that were able to transition, but the majority were actually in person. So, unfortunately, everyone's just more on a pause right now. which is, it's actually a good thing because, it's given us an opportunity to improve our programs, improve the coaching method, really, just work on a lot of the business processes. So fingers crossed, they're actually tentatively opening up on the 15th. So that's this coming up Friday, which is great. Yeah. So we'll see what happens then. But it's just been really a time for like reflection, like Anna said, time for even just acknowledging like a lot of the smaller moments. I think, something that, we both found really useful is at the end of the day, just like reflecting, what did we do today? And like, how can we celebrate that, in a small way, whether that was like, learning something new or maybe working on a new habit or something like that. And I know a lot of this sounds like very simple and very basic, but it's fundamental. And it's something that, a lot of us, we could maybe take a bit more attention to because, when this all ends, things, I don't want to say are going to go back to normal, but, they are going to be different. And, having this opportunity to maybe to use that to go into this new space, into this new period of time.
Yeah, right. Like, kind of like you created new habits. Hopefully you continue doing them, right? I wish that for many people, if they see like, wow, I really have to listen better to my wife or to my husband or to my kids, right? I hope people continue. I mean, also in general, right? I feel like this time actually helps us to be a better listener because a lot of people have a hard time to actually listen. We can talk so much, but are we actually also a good listener? Right? Like we need to listen to other people's needs as well. I think that's really important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the most important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what do you guys say if someone says like, oh, I was vegan, but it didn't work for me? Like, do you guys have any thoughts to say on that? Or...
Yeah, I would probably explore first why this person went vegan at the first place, because I know that a lot of people are influenced, maybe because of media, somebody who's famous went vegan, and I think when the why it's not strong enough, when you actually didn't go vegan because you felt like there was a shift inside, like you thought like you saw that animals are suffering and you thought like I'm not doing that anymore, or because maybe you had some kind of disease or somebody from your family died and you realized that plant-based diet it's just better solution. Then I think if the why it's not like strong enough, then anything that comes like across, or maybe you have some craving or somebody criticize you, then you will think, I'm out of there. So it's really easy to, I think, stop doing something if we didn't have like very strong purpose to start. It doesn't need to be vegan. It can be like exercises, anything else. But yeah, that would be the first thing that I would explore. And then I would just see what was actually the reason why this person stopped. Because maybe the diet wasn't like balanced, because I know that some people, especially like a few years ago, a lot of vegans, they were eating mostly like raw vegan diet or very high in carbs, and not everybody like it will actually do good on this kind of diet, especially if you go to the gym, if you have like 80% of carbs and then only 10% of protein, 10% fat, it may not work for you. So it can be really challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, eating bananas all day.
Some people do it, but I don't know if it's for me.
Yeah,
eating bananas all day.
Oh, right.
Just too sweet. Even one banana is too sweet for me. I'm like, like I use it for sweetening, but that's about it.
I was a raw food. I was a raw foodist for some years and stuff. I mean, I did a lot of raw food desserts and stuff. But after a while, I just had my saliva turned sweet all day. I was like, it's too much for me. Yeah, so
I can. Yeah, absolutely. I can relate, because at the beginning when I turned vegan, I was eating like so many, actually raw foods, mostly vegetables and fruits. And now my diet is much more like balanced with healthy fats, with protein. But I actually learned all these things when I started studying nutrition. So it was, now it's like, obviously taste is really important, but I look at what I put into my meals, so they are balanced. They keep me and Gabriel full for longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the very important things, and I think that's the reason very often why people stop being vegan. Sometimes it may be, I would double check if that's not like family or friends pressure, because maybe somebody change was absolutely, it was like inspired, but then like the family maybe kind of laughs at them, or like there can be different reasons. I also all my friends, when I turned vegan, I didn't actually have any like vegan or vegetarian friends even.
Right.
So that was like a big shift. So I had to actually deal with my whole family. They were looking at me, what are you doing?
Are you turning crazy?
Absolutely. And like Polish cuisine is actually not very, you can veganize a lot of dishes, but it's not like really vegan friendly.
Yeah, right. There's quite a lot of meat, and it's very fat based, right? It's very heavy on fat, I find. Some traditional dishes, right?
Yeah, it's like the thing is that most of the vegetables would be cooked, and also in a lot of dishes there will be some kind of like animal, like it can be meat, it can be dairy or eggs. So it's like there are really not too many like dishes I would say that they are actually vegan, maybe even none from this. I'm just trying to think about something that you can veganize them very easily, but they are not like natural vegan. So yeah, that's kind of that was for me a bit. I wouldn't say that it was an issue. I think for my family more just to accept that. That was my decision. But also I know that some people are just craving animal products, and that can be also like the reason that they decide to go back and eat the standard diet. So I would double check what's the reason, because usually if it's something about food, usually the diet won't be like balanced, and that's why they have cravings. That's why they think that they can't survive on plants. But sometimes it just helps like to speak to someone who has or do some research, or speak to someone who actually have a bit more knowledge and can help to create more balanced menu.
Yeah, and I think so, just to build off what Anna just said, it does really help, having that strong purpose and the motivation. But at the same time, it can feel very like isolating and very overwhelming, especially if you're making like, such a transformation. And I think it's something useful. We have an online like coaching community every week on Facebook. And, it's about like 150 members there. But, the thing about it is it's very supportive in there. And I think without a proper support system in place, creating like new habit changes, transformations, lifestyle changes, it can be very difficult. And truthfully saying, this is the reason why the gyms every January are bursting full, because people haven't been able to sustain a lifestyle change. They haven't been able to train consistently all year. So they do it again every January, and it's a cycle, and it's the same thing, with transitioning into a new way of eating, a new way of viewing nutrition. It takes time, to build some of these changes, because it's not just a physical change. It's also a mental transformation. It's a different way of like being. And I think it's something, because we're so caught up in, some of these like short-term like fixes, like 30-day challenges, like 7-day diets, or even like 60-day like workout plans. Habits actually, we have different studies that show like habits can take like 21 days or 30 days to become part of you. But there's actually new research coming out that's showing that habits actually take 18 months to really take place. You think about it, a year and a half.
That's crazy.
A year and a half. But think about it. It actually makes logical sense. If somebody was able to make exercise or fitness part of their life after, let's say, after 30 days, let's say after 90 days, if that was true, then why are so many people obese? Why is almost 1 out of 2 people obese or overweight in the United States? This can't be like something like a 30-day challenge can't like, really fix this problem. And it's something like we have to recognize we do need patience. We do need a support system, and we do need to be kind to ourselves. We have to be compassionate, understand this stuff takes time, and trying to rush some of these changes, it can be very overwhelming. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, that's great.
Because I mean, it's really, I can tell it's it has so much to do with your mental attitude, right? And what did you want to say, Anna? You wanted to include something else?
I just wanted to add that absolutely I agree also that having the support, like even sometimes when we don't have, because that was what I did when I didn't have any like friends around when I went vegan. I researched, I found vegan groups and vegan meetups, and I went there and I started meeting other people.
Right.
Because just to get this support, just to meet other people and see how they are doing that, especially when we are at the beginning of the journey. It may be a bit, we just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So true. I mean, we really need the support. And I mean, we're lucky, we live more in the city, right? You guys in New York, us in Vancouver, but people in the countryside, they might have it even harder, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
I think now we are. Yeah, I just wanted to say that now we are blessed with all the groups on Facebook, somewhere else. Absolutely, and we can connect even when we are even now during the lockdown, we can connect.
So true, right? People are connecting more, I feel. But then, you can also get very confused from what the social media is telling you. You'd say, oh, a girl ate meat again and now she feels more mental clarity. She feels stronger than when she was vegan. But then again, how much did that person eat, right, on a vegan diet in a way? We don't know. We only hear the negative part, right? But we don't even know the lifestyle of the person that lived on a vegan lifestyle, It's so confusing for people that want to try a vegan, but they're a bit scared or careful, how they want to do it. They don't know much about it. But then there's so much confusion too, and now the carnivore diet is saying, oh yeah, vegans, they get mental problems after a while, because it's not sustainable to be vegan, and it's also not good for the environment, right? They try to kind of make us look bad too,
Those are their opinions, though. They're not scientific opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to remember that just because you hear it on YouTube from some random person doesn't mean that there's any validity to what they're saying.
Exactly.
Right? Open spectrums.
That's important for us to bring out the message, and not help people to get back to the right track and not getting too confused or caught up into what other people did with their vegan lifestyle or whatever,
Absolutely. And everybody is different, and somebody can have some health condition that it's maybe more challenging to sustain different diets. So it's absolutely listening to somebody on YouTube who says I did it and it didn't work. It doesn't mean that it won't work for you.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's good I would say that it's really good to do some research before and just see, because there are some stuff that we need to supplement, and it's actually good to look at that and not just think, hey, I can eat all the vegan junk food and I will be healthy.
Exactly.
It won't work like that.
Right, you did a blood test, right, just to make sure when
do a blood test. I always tell if they're feeling sick or what, and be or when they got off being vegan, I said, did you get a blood test? And they usually answer is no. And I said, well, why didn't you go check and see what you might be missing in your diet, right? Because you can get it all from plants. You just need to know what you're kind of missing, right?
Yeah, and I think, still, even if we feel okay, I check up I do a blood test sometimes just to check, is everything okay? And it's just routine check, but I think it's worth to do it.
I think so too.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually quite curious about your future plans. Any future plans with your business and just in general about life?
Yeah, once things open up, I guess there's gonna be some big future plans. Next week.
We're looking. Yeah, we're definitely looking to continue to expand our business. It's right now we're in a transitional period. It's actually with the virus, it was just, it kind of cut us right short in the middle of some of our plans. But we're going to continue once things open up, is to transition a lot of our in-person clients to work online. We both love to travel, and we're actually looking to have a family within the next year and a half too. So I think it's something we're trying to bebalance the business and the family, because we're also recognizing I'm the oldest of 6, so I do recognize the toll of being a father, being a sibling, being a son, and it's something that we do want to make sure we have that balance in our life.
Right. Great attitude.
Absolutely. And we also want to continue with our studies, because we believe that you never stop learning, and all the time we want to learn more and more and more.
Us too, like every day I'm so curious about life. I feel like I don't have enough of the capacity. Well, I guess Elon Musk, right? He talked about the chip. I think that one to absorb more.
Oh, the Neuralink?
Yeah, did you guys hear about that one?
From Elon Musk?
What's that?
Well, basically, Elon Musk is working on, or I guess his companies or whatever is working on. Basically, it's like a Bluetooth thing that they implant into your skull, and then they run wires to your brain, so that they can basically like code your brain like to do stuff. It's more for people that have like ALS and like dementia and stuff like that, where the brain's not quite working. But they think that they can, apply that to, you want to learn a language, download it into it, and it goes straight into your brain.
Yeah. It's a bit creepy,
that's
but
what they think. Yeah,
the idea.
The idea is
it's cool, but
pretty intense. But if the application does work, I can only imagine what's going to happen in the future.
We're going to have like superhumans.
Cyborgs. Yeah. The $1 billion man, because $1 million not very much. This much. And these days, so $1 billion man, $1 trillion man with like this chip in your brain.
Yeah. That's so creepy. Like our world is becoming more artificial, and we have like I don't think our brain has really the natural capacity of really like adjusting, because our computer always upgrades, right, the software, but I feel our brain can't really keep up with that sometimes,
Yeah.
It's strange.
I think that there are a lot of like natural techniques how we can learn things better, and we actually look at photo reading. Because obviously we want to learn more things and learn them like quicker, and obviously with like studying or even reading a book, you don't want to spend so much time because you want to obviously like learn more, read more, remember and actually understand much better. So there we started looking at different techniques, how we can actually improve that. So I think even without all these methods with Elon Musk, we can do something more natural.
Yeah, right?
I'm sure there is. But he's always just saying that we're too slow compared to like a computer, how it thinks. So it's that interface between the computer and us. It's the input output's too slow. So if we want to keep getting more information and be quicker, we have to go straight into the brain, I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we can maybe learn how to use our brain, our mind a bit better, because I think we are not using enough potential now, but we can learn how to like expand and use it better.
Right.
So that's something what we actually always with Gabriel is like, how can we improve?
You guys have 1 more week left to improve. After that, you guys won't have much time. Sorry.
We always find time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Good point.
If it's a priority, you'll find time for it. Yeah. So where can the listeners find you?
So you guys can reach us at ProPlantAcademy.com. And you guys anyone who's on Facebook, you're welcome to add us at Gabriel Zhanay or Anna Zhanay. That's our Facebook profiles. We're always happy to message and get to know any new vegan or any plant-based friends or anybody who's just curious about, veganism, plant-based, or just getting fit as fuck.
Yeah.
Is that the motto?
It might be a new one.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, and it was a great pleasure to have you guys, and you're such an inspiration, keep on doing what you're doing, and I just love, as I said, the nutrition and the fitness, because we need both. We can't just like eat healthy but not exercise, and the other way around, right? It just goes hand in hand. So keep on doing it, and take care and enjoy time over there.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Welcome. Bye.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.